This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Mike Fairbairn, the head of IR for Zenova Group PLC. Thank you very much for joining us, Mike. Again, how are you doing?
I'm great, Mark. Thanks for having me back. I apologize for the photo booth look behind me, but I assure you I'm in a normal working environment.
Well, maybe it's a hip look, that's in these days, so that's fine. We'll let that go. But I mean, it's good to be catching up. Of course, we speak fairly regularly on Stockbox following the growth here. Of course, you've had some nice recent wins. Recently, Gelux, for example, but recently, Sheffield University. This follows on, I guess, from the NHS who we talked about last time. The NHS, one of the hospitals there, taking delivery of some of your FX 500s. Well, Sheffield University have now placed a trial order for the FX 500. So, I mean, again, another example of a contract win that I think the company is heading down.
Yeah, exactly right. This is we're filming after yesterday's RNS as well on Forever Chemical certification.
Yes.
Thomas Melchior, the CEO, provided a lot of detail, but it's yet another certification win. So I think it's incumbent on me to sort of to discuss the link between the two. Both of them are linked by trends that I would think that you and stakeholders can start to recognize because we've been talking about them. As we've been progressing for as many as 3 years on this increasingly industry-leading certification route, and so the PFAS and PSAS and so on certifications from in yesterday's RNS are a continuation of that to the point where I think there was a good reaction, particularly good reaction to that one in the stock market yesterday, because I think the market is starting to click that not only are our certification suite quite comprehensive, and to the extent that they want to research it, they'll see that our nearest competitors are starting to fade a little bit, but these are becoming clearly commercially important in that it's quite clear that European guidelines are going to stiffen in 2025, and Zenova can actually speak to its compliance into the future. It's a very powerful commercial, directly commercial level of distance now between ourselves and the competition. As for Sheffield, likewise, it's following on a trend, which I hope and expect that viewers will be able to recognize. You mentioned the NHS, a major institution that we've targeted. We've broken through the outer shell, and similarly now the university system here in the UK. With this preliminary small but test order into Sheffield University, which is a large university, and the prospects as laid out in the RNS are quite exciting for us potentially as we look to get guidance that this can turn into a larger order to replace the installed base of larger extinguishers at the university, and likewise smaller ones in dormitory facilities for our smaller FX 500 extinguisher. And in the process, we establish a foothold in the university system generally, because they do talk and so on, and we would hope and expect that other universities may follow. So we're excited about that, but we're also excited that we're executing on our plan.
Okay. Well, you say, yes, it's that initial trial order, and negotiations are underway to potentially replace, I think, 4,500 of these extinguishers across the University of Sheffield. But importantly, you say that the negotiations are being done under the umbrella of ESP, that's Environmental Safety Protection Limited, which is you basically formed a distribution partnership, haven't you, with I think a few people there. And I know we've spoken before about how important partnerships or distributors are to the model here. So, I mean, how is the ESP model tying in? How does it work with Zenova? What can you shed any light on that?
Well, thank you. It's a perfect question because it's, in fact, the third leg of that strategy stool, which we continue to demonstrate positive trends in. So that is operating through distributors, often new entrepreneurial distribution efforts, comprised of industry specialists with long track records, who love our products, one, and two, don't necessarily want to operate any longer within a larger distributor. And ESP is a perfect example. We had a brief discussion internally whether to make the ESP announcement a separate RNS because we wanted at least to highlight that these are four heavyweights in the business, in the fire safety industry. These are not children. And they, as I already said, they love our products, and they've formed ESP specifically to market our products. I've already gone on in previous videos about how leverageable that kind of arrangement is, reduces our marketing spend, and so on. And in this case, arguably, this is one of our more powerful distribution hookups because they've already delivered Sheffield, albeit on a test run basis, but it's a very important signal to our customers and our shareholders that we're making that sort of material progress, which on many levels or across many vectors that we're going to execute on several of them, and they're going to be material, even transformation, given our rather modest market cap at the moment, and the high sales profitability potential that they offer. And it's a testament to the team as it evolves. Thomas's leadership, Fiona Rutherford's leadership as our chair, and we're really leveraging our resources well. And like I said, ESP is arguably the most exciting hookup we've had already. The one other corollary to that three-legged stool, perhaps it's a small leg that sticks out, but is also these are all people who have been drawn in and helped us execute our demonstrations across Europe now, and across Europe. These are people who were in Palma, they were in Albania. They've seen the product firsthand, and this is the result. ESP formation is, if not a direct result of that, but an indirect, where these guys are so confident as we are in the superior performance of our product.
And is the onus on ESP now effectively to go out and make the sales on behalf, well, not on behalf of, but be as a wholesaler for your product? Well,
look, I mean, for us right now, if they've penetrated Sheffield, and everyone's on the same page, deliver us the bigger order. So we're working directly with them.
Good. Okay.
And they're, I can't really comment, nor am I necessarily privy to, but there'll be further conversations going on, obviously, between the other three pros there and Zenova management as to where they want to target. And that sort of strategy plays out all the time. But frankly, if as a shareholder and a very excited employee, if if I learned, the entire staff was just focused on Sheffield right now, I wouldn't be disappointed. But of course, that's not the case. I'm just saying.
Sure. Yeah.
These are major institutions that small but growing Zenova has in its sights. So we want to close on these as well. So we don't want to get too thinly sliced. So.
Well, as a shareholder, just a final question. As a shareholder, as you mentioned, as a long-term shareholder before you took the position here with the company, I know we've spoken about that before, how you like the product as a shareholder point of view. The company obviously had their annuals recently as well. You've been behind the company, is it about a year, maybe probably something like that. What's your thoughts on how the company's performed given the annuals were published not so long ago?
Well, look, our results showed modest growth. We had a growth in sales and a reduction in our costs. I can assure everyone that we're going to, and we are engaged in some material cost cutting. As I mentioned, one of the three stools. This certification success that we've had has been long-tailed and expensive. Our R&D spend is expected to fall precipitously now that we have, needless to say, I mean, I don't have to say it again, but I will, our kite mark in the UK, the full EN certification nearly in Germany. We are prepared for when the standards are passed down on lithium ion. Of course, that's the gold standard that everyone is going to seek to achieve. We're ready. We've demonstrated that. We're confident we'll come inside the guidelines. And now, of course, the forever chemicals, which I say again, the market has shown pretty impressive understanding of just what that means. It was a very useful RNS that we put out. Now, so it's everything to play for this half year. So if we reflect on our results, our shares took a bit of a hit. I would argue with the logic of that, but it is what it is. And we know, and now the market knows, I hope, that it's everything to play for in this coming half year. And we don't intend to show, a 17% gain in sales as we did on a small number. We want to blow that percentage out of the water through H2 of this year.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mike Fairbairn, the head of IR for Zenova Group, for your time today.
Okay, thanks, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.